Good morning, welcome to a new day, new projects, same problems. Just kidding. Well, sometimes. We are sweeping up the spot where that 1500 flat bottom's going. So I'm getting this cleaned up. We don't want any small rocks or anything under there, just in case that tank ever gets filled up. You don't want something under it that could end up puncturing and causing problems. I've got to pull this tank out, this cone bottom. It wouldn't fit between these two humps, but these two it will, so I can hook a chain on it and drag it out, and then we'll just come in with the forks under that tank, wrap a strap around it, and then just slowly pull it down to there. Should work fairly well, I think. I gotta get all this crud out from around these legs. There it is. I just took the strap off. It's ready to get set. I may push it to the west a little more, but for now that's good. I want to try and push this wall back a little bit because it's kind of in the way of where I want to put the tank. I want to push this tank as far back as possible. So get some stuff moved out of the way here. There we go. We got our 1500 gallon cone tank over there. Mixing inductor and everything there. Second 1500 over there. Now we just gotta go through, set the hoses all back up on this. We will start with this being hooked up to the cone tank because soybean planting, we don't have any 28 going in. So the first thing we're gonna be using is the cone tank for water, and we'll have that all plumbed up and then get our load plumbed up as well. Oh, Dad just got back. He took the grain truck in, load of scrap. You'll notice this inductor pallet, I spun it 45 degrees that way. I originally had, I don't know why I did it, but I put a 90 on the end of the push hose, that black hose over there. And so I guess it'll work out better now. My measuring numbers are on the front now of the cone, and my push hose will come straight off. And then that suction hose on the pump is straight at the door, so that'll curve around and go to those tanks just fine. Hoses are all hooked up. Now we're gonna build the tote stack. What we need is the bottom tote. It's gonna be Sidekick, I think. Yeah, I think so. Bottom tote will be Sidekick. And then we'll do manganese. We're not gonna have that on there. And then the boron and the sugar. We'll see. Yeah, that's a manageable stack. We're gonna stack them there. And then we'll get a pump ready to go on the Sidekick tote. Ideally, we want a flow meter on that one, but I don't have one. We'll put a pump on the Sidekick tote, and these two should be able to gravity feed. Alright, first tote, Sidekick, double hot 25-17 sulfur. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to pop these lids because I forgot to do it on the sugar tote, and I think that's the actual reason why it was pumping slow yesterday, was because, yeah, there wasn't any air escaping out of that. So, I'm looking to see if I got anything to pop that zip or that lid with. It doesn't have an air breather on top like the other ones I saw did. And just like I suspected, I ended up changing it up. So we put our micros and our sugar on the back stack, and we have our pump on the bottom one, on the boron, because that is going into the inductor. The rest of them are getting jugged, measured in jugs, so they are going to stay like that. I still got to build the little hose for filling the jugs. And then I have my second shuttle pump going on the Sidekick on this side. This tote's going to get swapped out fairly often, so I decided I wanted to make it fairly convenient to switch. So this one is getting put into the inductor as well as in jugs and in furrow. So there we go. I need an extension cord over here and a scale to measure out the plant growth regulators, because it's a dry granule, water soluble. So that's it. I think we're done over here. Next thing we gotta do is clean out that tender that's been sitting around the corner, pull the sprayer out, drain the 28 that's left in it into that tank, and wash the booms and all that so that it doesn't rust. You're not gonna believe it. It's amazing how you go through all this stuff and you can't find what you're looking for, and then you just decide you're gonna try and mock something together, and then you find all the parts you need. Well, there we go. Local parts store was out of 1.5" plumbing, and basically all their plumbing in general. As soon as it comes in the spring, it's picked over. But I managed to find everything except for I will have to steal one of the cam locks that I have on my farm chem order, and then we can have a jug fill hose. I gotta take a grinder, knock that old piece of 1.5" off, and then we can put a new piece on that's long enough, or even it might not even need a hose, honestly, but you just stick a jug under that nipple and fill it up. But yeah, we found it, so that is good. That was my biggest thing right now. We will just end up not converting that one pump. Like I said, that sidekick tote, we can put a pump in the top. That'll work, and we can get through. Just got done with lunch. I think I'm gonna run to the AGCO dealer real quick. They have my T-Jet nozzles in, my hollow cones for foliar, and my flat fans that I have to replace some of the ones that I have on the sprayer already. So I think we'll run down there. Dad's using the skid loader at the moment, which I'll need on my project. We got a scrap truck. He went home, went uptown first, and then went home to get the title for that so we can take it to the scrap yard. If you see, where's the wash rack at? Over there. I gotta move that tender, so I could do it. It won't take too long. I'll probably still be able to do it when I get back. So we'll do that, and then we can get the sprayer out. We're gonna do a top to bottom wash because it hasn't been washed yet. Pressure wash that 28 off the booms, as well as all the bird poop that's on the hood and everywhere else. Just me and my little $417 box of parts. Crazy how much stuff costs. $417 and not a single thing in that box is made of anything but plastic. Absolutely nuts. But nothing I can do about it. I gotta have them. With how well it's dried out today already, we could be planting on Thursday or even Wednesday. Don't know, but we'll have everything ready. We'll just focus on getting stuff ready. That way we're not getting too excited, but may go out and work some ground tomorrow, which would be in this video. So we'll see. I took a second look inside this tender. I am gonna go through and pressure wash the inside of this because it does have a little bit of 28 grime in there, and then it's also got some algae because it did sit outside a lot of the summer over there, right under the roof line, and so it caught some water in it, and I think it had some algae growing in it last summer. So we're gonna power wash it out as good as we can, and then this will be ready. This is the trouble with this kind of tank, is they don't really completely draw down. So everything as far as crud is in the sump, and the suction is not low enough to get it out. The solution to pollution? Dilution. Worked on the front one. Just run it in the sump behind the little elbow there, and eventually she cleans out. And then it all runs out back there. I think it is just 28%. I don't think it's actually algae. The sumps kind of work like a sediment bowl too. There's some dirt in the bottom. I don't know, if it ever dries out, I can probably stick my shop vac down in there and clean them out. You can see all that dirt there. It all just settles at the bottom. I can't get it to come out very easily. I don't know if I actually have enough pressure washer hose to reach the whole thing. Since I don't have enough room to back all the way up, I guess we'll get what we can. Oh, it's all blowing in my face. Dang it, I didn't think that through. Oh, nasty. Just got done spraying that down. Sprayer's one of those things, never really looks dirty, except when it sits through the winter and it gets bird poop all over it. But it's one of those things where the invisible things are more of a problem than the visible. So you want to get rid of that so that you don't have problems. We gotta pack this pressure washer stuff up now because it's not supposed to get above 32, 33 degrees tomorrow. Or it's about 40, but it says the real feel is gonna be 32. So gonna pack all that up so it doesn't freeze, and then once the sprayer's dry, we can fold it back up, put it away in the barn. Thought I was gonna be able to steal this cam lock off of this shuttle pump for that bucket thing, but doesn't appear to be the right style, and it doesn't even look like it comes off of that pump, so can't use that one. We will just have to wait for that farm chem one, I guess. I need to come back here at the skid loader. I think that's what I'm going to do next, and put all the stuff away that I pulled out and get it tucked back in here. And you're probably like, well, you just said you were going to be fitting ground tomorrow. Yeah, I got my days mixed up. I rechecked the weather, and tomorrow is the day that it's supposed to be cold and nasty. It's not supposed to rain much. They only say a half a tenth, but we'll see. That can always change. Really bad. You can tell it's really windy. Yeah, it's dry and fast, so that's good. It'll offset any precip we get tomorrow. When I'm putting stuff back in, I'm putting as few things in the aisle as possible. The stuff that doesn't really fit in the free stalls right now, so just those 4 things went there. I'm organizing stuff that's on pallets into the free stalls, and then I'm bringing the pallets back around to our pallet stack. I'm going to be coming for that cylinder. When we run out of oxygen in our current one, we'll get them both swapped so that we got 2 fresh tanks in the shop. Another thing that should be on tomorrow's docket is this middle bin's almost out of corn. If anybody noticed in the short I put out a couple days ago, we have more corn in this bin, which currently doesn't have an unload. So it's not a big deal because we can vac it out, but going into planting time, our planting tractor is what runs the vac. So that's the big problem there. We have that piece there, and the flighting broke as well as the tube. I have a new auger and tube out in the barn that I was going to cut the tube and cut the auger to length and just splice it onto this with one of them clamp splice things, and then just move the motor mounts over to the new tube and call it good. Good morning, guys. Trying to determine what we got here. A little bit of mist on the truck, and I can just barely see it misting right now, but the driveway is dry still. So we haven't gotten much of anything yet. Concrete's all wet over there though, so interesting. We were working on that 16-foot trailer last night, so when Dad gets here we're going to resume on that. He was getting lumber, I think, for the beaver tail. I'll just walk down there and show you guys what we're doing. So we kept having problems with the wood busting out on this beaver tail. So what we're doing is we're welding 2 pieces of C-channel in, and we're going to cleat them with little pieces of bar, cleat it so the skid steer has traction going up it, and then we're filling the rest in with 2x6, I think. So yep, once Dad gets here with the 2x6, we gotta make sure one fits in that gap, and then we'll weld it down, make sure one fits in that gap, weld this down, and then I'll start welding cleats, and we'll get it painted, and then we can finish with the wood. Dad said something about hauling manure for a horse farm today, so I don't know if that's still gonna happen or not. It's kind of chilly. It's really cold, but yeah, we'll see if that's gonna happen or not. All right, so we got this material here. It's not very straight at the moment. We'll have to straighten it up, bend it, but these are gonna be our cleats. So we'll have, I don't know, 6 on each one maybe. So it'll be like that all the way up. So I'll get them cut, figure out the spacing we want, all that fun stuff. I left my phone on the tailgate while I was welding, and I got a bunch of speckles all over my screen now. That's great. Oh well, nothing I can do about that. Should have bought a screen protector, I guess. I got one welded up already. Not too bad. I started out a little heavy on the bottom ones, and I started getting a little more minimalistic on the welds as I went up. But all welds look good with paint on them. Well, I shouldn't say that. Most welds look good with paint on them, and sometimes mine fall into that category, and sometimes they don't. So anyway, now we just keep going on this side. I got marks on each side where each one goes, and then I have marks on where the ends of them fall. We got 5 per, and they are spaced out, I think they're 5 inches from the end, and then 9 inches apart. That one's about 5 1/4, but up here they're 5 inches off the end of the C-channel, and then they're 9-inch spaced. I have never been able to stretch a spray can of primer so far in my life. Can felt almost empty when I started, and I managed to get all of that. But we've sprayed it with that rust killer first, and then now we're priming it, and we're gonna undercoat the bottom of these, I think, and then we will paint the top. So, yep. I forgot to put some on the floor, but this floor is so dirty that'll just sweep up anyway. I'm not worried about the garage door. Alrighty, so I guess I'm gonna make sure I got enough undercoat, and maybe we'll just paint it. I don't have enough. We've got all these cheap $2.99 cans of paint need to be burned up anyway. I had them painted. I left them drying. Went inside the house. Did some paperwork stuff I got. Hopefully the right pressures for our in-furrow. For corn, we're running 3.5 mile an hour at 6.5 gallons to the acre. That gives us 53 PSI. And then on soybeans, we're running 5 gallons to the acre, 4.5 mile an hour, 52 PSI. I don't know how right these are going to be. I put our 2x2 information in because I'd like to change it and run 20 gallons to the acre on corn instead of 25, and then run 10 on beans. That's too much of a span for our orifices, I think. But I put 25 in because that's what our usual rate was last year at 3.5 mile an hour, and it says we should be at like 16 PSI. And we were running at 25 or 26 to get 25 gallons. So I don't know why that's so far off on the 2x2. We are going to run some calibration runs in the first couple acres and make sure we're doing it right and make sure we're putting out the right amount. And I may try and do some jug calibrations in the driveway, but we'll see. Yeah, because last year we ran, I believe the number I'd come up with was 11, and we ran 11, or maybe we ran that 16, and 15 maybe stands out in my mind. And we ended up with 13 gallons to the acre. So we're going to try and get it around 20. But I don't know where I just left off. I just got off the phone with somebody. But papers, going to follow them first and then adjust as needed. If it's like the 2x2, they'll start off low, which is better than high. You don't want to toast your beans with starter. Going to get started on this. I don't know where Dad's at, but he came and then disappeared and went somewhere. We're going to rip some boards down. Not rip them, cut them down. 46 1/4 inches is what the beaver tail requires, and get laid on the outside. And then we will lay our C-channel down, weld it in place, and then start cutting more boards. Just done a little work on my disc spine through the afternoon. Got that oil fill tube put on and that corner bracket that covers it up. That 16-foot trailer's done. Dad's got minivan in the shop working on the brakes. He was screwing around with skid loader when I just pulled out. We're gonna go down and check that field that I plan on discing tomorrow and see how it looks. Just see what conditions look like. I got the tractor fueled up. The disc is sitting in the driveway next to the house. So we're ready. Hopefully the ground's ready. This first corner by the road's kind of spongy, so it's not great here. Maybe it is down deeper, I don't know. Maybe it's just on top. Got a shovel, doing it the proper way. Yeah, it's not dry here. Go out a little ways. Get some earthworm action. It's still too wet. Balls up. Walk this way a little bit, go on a hilltop. Better, but it's still too wet. Alrighty. Can check it again tomorrow afternoon. We'll come back to that one. End it tomorrow. Tomorrow's supposed to be really sunny and breezy again, so like yesterday. And it'll probably be ready then, maybe. I don't know. That's a really heavy field. We'll go down and check a no-till sandier field and see if we can do that one. Alright, we got this 24 acres here. There's 60 on that side of the lane. That side's going to get tilled up, though, because we hauled manure over there. This is definitely drier. We'll see, though. Oh, yeah, that's a lot drier. See, this is all sand here. We're about 1.5 miles from the other field we were just in. Isn't that crazy? You can get clay that's about as heavy as that other field we were in if you go to the front of that 60 acres there. So a couple hundred yards that way, you're back to some of the heaviest soil you've ever seen. And that field turns into sand like this in the back. It looks like we got some grass. So that'll take an early herbicide pass here probably. I wasn't expecting there to be this much green in the corn stubble. I think this no-till field will for sure be ready. I just have to be able to convince Dad to let me no-till a field this early. He's always been a little, he's always been okay with doing tilled ground, but no-till ground he gets a little bit concerned when it comes to whether it's going to come up or not, but we'll see. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video. There's definitely going to be some action there, so keep an eye out. It'll probably come out sometime Thursday night. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some action. Even if there's not planting, we might be turning dirt. So thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you next time.